Hey, today on the Be Better Off show, we've got one of my great friends and one of, I think, the world's greatest jewellers, a living master, Cerrone Jewellers, Nick Cerrone, the founder since 1972 in Australia, here in Sydney, 15 Catherine Street, Leichhardt. I can't wait for you to meet him. He's an absolutely wonderful guy, world-class professional, and I think you'll fall in love with him and his company as we have.
You're listening to the Be Better Off show by Kelly+Partners.
So Nick Cerrone of Cerrone Jewellers, welcome.
Thank you.
It's
Brett.
so nice
Thank
to
you.
be here with a friend, somebody that we consider is a wonderful man and a wonderful family man who's built an incredible business. Nick, I'd love our listeners to hear your story. You come to Australia in what year, and how did you get into being a jeweller?
Brett, yes, this is, so I think it was a bit of a luck me to get involved with something that I enjoy. I think that's one of the things that people have to find out first, if they enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that is the secret. If you enjoy it, you put everything into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to be successful, you got to put everything into it.
Yeah, no half measures.
There's no half measures, It's like the gold medal winners. They're there winning the game. They want to win the game, whatever cost and whatever measure is. So I was very fortunate to fall in love with this, the jewelry business. But the jewelry business was not something that we understood because we were farmers back in Italy.
Yeah.
In 1968, we migrated to Australia.
And how old were you?
I was only 12 years of age.
Yeah. So you've come from Italy, living in a farming family. You come to Australia. Where did you land?
We landed in Sydney.
Yeah.
And when we landed in Sydney, there was the most unbelievable feeling because I felt at home.
Yeah.
It was not like a big city like New York and things like that.
Yeah. So you get to Sydney, you're 12, your English was probably little to no existence?
No existence. I didn't even know what English was.
Yeah. And your parents, that you go to school, how do you start on your path to be a jeweller?
This is the most wonderful thing. My father, I arrived on a Monday, I started to work on a Tuesday in a fruit shop.
Yeah.
And the fruit shop was a good beginning because, apple, oranges, related to Italian language.
Yeah.
And that helped me to learn the language.
Yeah.
I think that industry was something that made me feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
To accept this country a lot easier if I went straight to school.
Yeah.
Because I would have been probably assassin.
Yeah.
I would have been killed.
Yeah.
I would have been destroyed.
So
I would have been lost,
So you're in this fruit shop working with people?
Working with people.
Learning the language?
Learning the language. And then I went to school.
Yeah.
I went to primary school and then I went to high school. But that it was very difficult for me to stay at school until I mentioned to my father, I said, Dad, I needed to learn a trade.
Yeah.
I can't look after people. I can't serve people.
Yeah.
I can't sell bananas. I can't.
So how did you come to jeweling? How did you decide that's the trade for me?
Well, I wanted to do something with my hands. I was passionate because I wanted to be able to create.
So an Italian that uses their hands.
That's right.
That's unusual.
I think it's in our DNA.
Absolutely,
we need to create. We need to, the sense of beauty. All that sort of thing that I think it belongs to, our childhood. That your mother sort of made sure that you were well groomed, your shoes were polished, and all those sort of things. I think that's plays in your future in life. So I went to school, and then by the time. I think I was about 16, and I said to my father, I really need to learn a job and all that. And my father was really working for a jeweler in Pimble.
Okay.
He used to do his gardening.
Right.
And that's how my luck really began.
And you went to work for that jeweler?
I went to work for that jeweler.
As an apprentice. How old were you?
I was 18 years of age.
Great. Now, you have shared, I interviewed Nick in this book, Business Owner's Wisdom, so I know this story and I really want other people to hear it. It's a great story. So this jeweler, tell me about this man who was your master, who taught you the craft.
Well, this jeweler, he is an unbelievable human being. I still, I love my father very much, but this man made me realize that in life there's no bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. So his nationality?
German.
German. And what was his specialty as a jeweler?
His specialty as a jeweler, he was a very creative man.
Yeah, yeah.
He was a designer. Yeah. He made everything himself, Where jewelers today, in my workshop, there is 20 different jewelers. It's like an orchestra.
Yeah.
Because
making
today
the different parts.
Different parts.
Yeah.
The standards are a lot higher.
Yeah.
It's a lot more precise. And so you can't be a musician that you play all the instrument.
Yeah. Yeah. So for our listeners, share the parts. So in a ring, and there's probably somebody out there who's bought a diamond for themselves or others in the past. What are the parts of a ring and how does that move through your workshop?
Well, the good thing, this is how we're still alive, because today the industry is becoming very, mass production, as we understand.
And everything at Cerrone is handmade in your workshop.
And it's, the jewelers gets a sketch, which the designer, myself, or the designers sit and talk to the customer what their needs are.
Yeah, yeah.
They put it on a bit of paper, and then the jeweler gets a piece of gold, a bar of gold, and he's got to make that piece of jewelry from that bar of gold, which means that the gold is a lot more flexible, it's a lot more durable, and it's a lot more pliable because it's been teased.
Yeah.
Instead, most jewelers today, what happens is they just push the button and the piece of jewelry comes out.
Out of a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
So when you buy a piece of jewelry from Cerrone, you're buying something that's been touched by hand with love and care.
And the secret is really, I say to my jewelers, the piece of jewelry is going to be sexy. If it's not sexy, people are not going to fall in love. It's simple.
Yeah. So there is that Italian beauty to everything you do. So you start.
But that is the different, Brett. I mean, with anything, passion. You love your beautiful pair of shoes. Why? Because you feel it.
Yeah. You have to feel it.
You have to feel it. You emotion. Have to. It's got to connect with you because otherwise, you can buy it. It's not worth anything.
Yeah. I think that's so true. So when you start, you're this apprentice, and this German, I remember you sharing with me, he had very exacting standards.
Yes, only once.
Yep. Tell me
Second
that story.
time.
Share that story.
Well, he passed away now, and his wife actually was telling me when he passed away, we were both upset. And actually, by the way, this William Fisher, all these tools, he didn't want to give it to anybody else. They wanted to sell it. He said, I want to give it to you. Because I was the only apprentice that he kept.
Yeah.
And I made him very happy when I won the international award in Paris.
Yeah.
Because that was his dream that he wanted to win that.
Yeah. So tell me, what was the award?
The award was the Oscars of the jewelry industry. It was like 2,500 people throughout the world, from big, Harry Winston, Cartier, and all these, all over the world. There were people, big fashion houses all over the world. And we won the Oscars for Australia.
Yeah, fantastic.
After that, 2 years before, this award was used to be organized every 2 years. The year before, Gianni Versace won it.
Great.
So I won it off him.
Yep, fantastic. And what was the piece that won?
Brett, I had to make it something out of this world. I mean, not everybody's going to like it, but
it's amazing.
I have to think about Hollywood, what Hollywood would really love. And it was like a collier, Elizabethan, we called it. It was like a royal family.
The big collar.
The big collar.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Do you still have the piece?
I still have the piece, yes.
Great.
That's that's an award-winning piece, and it's part of history that Australia won the Oscars. And I was very proud that I came to this country and contribute something to my country.
To your country. It's amazing. So you do how long with the apprenticeship?
The apprenticeship was 5 years.
And when did you start your business?
I started as soon as after I finished. I was 22 years of age.
In Leichhardt?
In Leichhardt.
Okay, so you start this business. Talk to me about the trepidation of starting a business, and how did you get through those first few years?
Yes. Look, I wanted to say one thing about, just before we get to that, about my master, how severe was my master.
Yeah.
which you couldn't do those things today because there's so many laws.
Yeah.
But my master was so effective that, as I said to you before, he would only rectify me once. The second time, he would make sure I would remember by hitting me over the fingers. And the last time, I got 3 stitches in my head.
Just whacked in the back of the head. Well, that's one way to get your people trained up.
Isn't it? He couldn't do that today,
he can't do it today. But he obviously had this great passion about the work and care for you.
Brett, I really think I deserve that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, to make me realize there's no time for errors.
Yeah, no shortcuts.
No shortcuts.
Yeah.
You made a mistake, you fix it.
Yeah.
You know, you start again. You don't repair it.
Yeah.
And the Germans are very much like that. You know,
Oh, yeah.
The Italians repair their motors, the engine,
Yeah.
the motor cars. The Germans, too old, get rid of it, new one.
Yeah, there's a great story of a German watch company assemble their pieces twice
Yes.
before they'll put them out into the market. It's an exacting culture. It's very,
It's a
very
beautiful
interesting.
culture. I love
Yeah,
it
it's
because
amazing.
I appreciate reality. You know, we got to be winners. I mean, there's no time for errors. You know,
Yeah, that's great. So you start this business.
you start the business.
How do you build a very substantial business from absolutely nothing?
Well, I gotta really thank the Italian community for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, because being an Italian, your friends would give you jewelry to repair, and I would do it for nothing because it gave me the opportunity to meet people, communicate with people, and they would say, "Look, my chain is broken. Can you fix it?" Right.
Yeah.
So I did that. I used to take all this jewelry, fix it, and give it to them.
Yeah.
You know, and the relationship came because, no one does anything for nothing, but I did it because it gave me great pleasure to learn more about the job and to become confident with the job because, my mother and father never owned a wedding ring. So, it was beyond me, my understanding about diamonds and gold. It was something totally unique to me to get involved with this.
And then that relationship led them to coming back to you.
To buy other things.
Yeah, yeah. This is a great story about giving before trying to get. I think it's not always well understood today, but it always struck me when you told me that story that people would come in, you would clean their rings, you would build a relationship with them, and I know that. For Beck and I, we consider Nick, and his team our jewellers, our people that we go to when we want something.
Well, we make miracles for you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Otherwise, there's no
there's
no satisfaction if you don't make miracles.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's really interesting. So as you're building this business up, you've got the support of the Italian community in Leichhardt who come to you because
then they came back
you're
to
their
me.
guy.
Yeah, well, when they needed then a christening or a baptism or they used to come in to buy a little cross, a little chain, and then they used to come in and buy the engagement ring.
Yeah.
But I got to say, the most ultimate reward was when I really made a very expensive piece of jewelry was one of the managers of Woolworths.
Yeah.
He got engaged and he came and bought this engagement ring. I'll never forget it. I was in my bedroom. And he came and collected this engagement ring in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because that was my desk there I used to work in the back of the garage. I mean, that's where I used to make jewelry. I used to repair jewelry. And this guy gave me all this money. It was like $6,000. I mean, we're talking about, the 70s.
75. So it's a pretty interesting thing. You could buy a house today in in Leichhardt. In those days, a home would have been.
And Brett, there was the most
about
enjoyable thing
$6,000
because I never seen so much money. So what I did is I picked it up and I threw it all up in the air. I think that was one of the most beautiful things that I ever remember.
So you catch the bug of serving the client and working out of your garage.
Yes.
How do you then get into your first premises and put a team around you?
Yes. Well, then, you start to realize that, you have to be serious here.
Yeah.
You have to be, you have to pay attention what's happening, So that's what happened is, and then I went to my bank, I went to borrow money. I remember to buy gold and to buy diamonds and all that. And I went, my first borrowing was $2,000.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I had a very good bank manager that he trusted me.
Yeah.
He believed in me.
Yeah.
So I did my first collection. I sold it over Christmas. I went back to the bank. I gave him all the money, and he's tripled my credit rating.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. And then what I did is I went out and bought, talk about property.
Yep.
I went out and bought a property in Leichhardt with $600 deposit.
Is that the property that you're still in?
You're still at 15 Catherine Street.
So 15 Catherine Street's the place to go, guys. It's where the workshop is. It's absolutely amazing. So 15 Catherine Street, Leichhardt, that's the place to go when you're looking for
$600 deposit.
$600. How much was the property?
$12,000.
$12,000. So give 1978.
No, 70 before, 72.
Great. So this is really great context. So in 1972, you could buy a terrace in Leichhardt for $6,000. So if you could sell a ring for $6,000, pretty happy day. I just remember these property prices from a bunch of the clients, which is great.
Yes.
And so here you are, a young man. When did you meet Carmela and get married?
Same time.
Same time. Okay.
Same time.
And you had your first child?
First child, a few years later, and it was a boy, and we lost him, and there was a terrible time of our life that we were going through, and but then you overcome that, and you realize that life is about, it's about life, and you need to get up and go and do your own, what you need to do, and what we did is then we start to employ people to help me, and not only myself. And but I found it very difficult to introduce myself to the English community.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Because I was Italian, so my English was not really very easy. And I remember I used to go to the big stores like Angus and Coote and Prouds and all the jewelers in Sydney. And I used to panic, and I used to mumble, and I used to be very, very nervous. And I said, this is not a job for me. I have to find someone. So I was fortunate again. Luck came my way. I was fortunate enough that an Englishman migrated from London.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was looking for a job to be a representative of a company.
Yeah.
And he took my collection. And he took it all over Australia, and that became...
And just kept selling for you. How long did he stay with you?
He stayed for me for about 5 years.
Yeah, okay.
And then, the work sort of we were working night and day. So
It's a great observation in that in most businesses, it's a combination of people and skills. And
this is what I say to my team today. I say, it's not about me. It's about you.
Yeah.
What you going to do for your company, for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you are successful, we're all going to be successful.
Yeah, yeah. And
it's simple.
And it takes the recognition of any boss to know that they can't do everything, and that they need those different skills.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's
I mean,
very
look at today. I mean, you got computers now.
Yeah.
Galaxies, they call it. They call it galaxy. Yeah. A galaxy today, it tells you how to cut a diamond, not to the less wastage possible.
Yeah.
Where years ago, man used to sit in front of the stone for hours and hours and measure it, all this waste of time.
Yep.
And then one would say, I'm going to cut this as a brilliant cut. Another one would say, I'm going to cut this as a B shape or a cushion or whatever. And, you had to rely on people. Where today, the job is so precise.
Yeah.
It's so unique.
Yeah.
So you have to move in with the time.
Yeah.
And that's where, unfortunately, my master didn't move with the time. And that's where his life became very short.
Yeah.
And he could only do certain customers because he said, I'm the best. You came to me because I'm the best.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody wants to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So this is a great story. So today, Cerrone is a very well-known brand. It's it's very much loved in the Italian community. And
Not
the
only
broader
Italian,
and
we
the
do
broader community.
Yes,
and
but we do all over the world. All over the world.
Especially
Especially
it's a huge achievement.
You know, in Japan, we have a lot of wonderful customers. In America, we have a lot of celebrities in America that keep on following our, you know. And the thing is that, Brett, why it's so unique? Because this country is unique.
Yes. Yeah.
This country is so unique. We have the best gems in the world.
Yeah.
We have pink diamonds.
Yeah.
Right? Which I've been the ambassador from the beginning.
With Argyle.
With Argyle diamonds.
Yeah.
When we used to do, we used to cut brown diamonds, which they used to crash these brown diamonds. And we said, I think we should really cut them.
So the champagne diamonds.
The champagne,
yep.
You know, we said
Fantastic.
we should cut them.
So there's a great story of marketing. There's these brown diamonds. Argyle don't know what to do with them. They rebranded them as champagne. People started to cut them up and sell them. And absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful. And they're
there's a whole
still
market
diamonds.
for
They're
it.
that's still the hardest gem in the world.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
why crush them? Why use them as industrial?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Very, very interesting. So what do you think, you know, if you look now at your business and the course, it's, you know, it's 40 plus years, 45 years, nearly 50 years. What do you think are the big, you know, the big themes that have made you guys survive first and then prosper?
Yeah. Look, I think what I got to think today is Google.
Yep.
Because Google today helped me to not do business only with Australia, but to do business globally.
Yep. Yep. Amazing.
And that is there's no secrets, you know. You got to be involved, and you got to be the best. You got to offer them. You got to offer always your customer the best that it's possible.
So to be world class, to have a global outlook, what are the other things? Obviously your family, the girls, in the business.
Yes. Look, I'm very fortunate. I have a great wife, and you know, I don't think of those things all the time because I'm always thinking ahead and I'm thinking to be successful.
Yeah.
But I think the background, you got to have those foundations.
Yeah, yeah.
Because without foundations,
you can't build anything.
You can't build.
I think it's an interesting theme, you know, of the people that I've met, and many of them that have done very well. It's the quiet, strong foundations that they have.
Foundation is so important. Because when I get home, if I have trouble, you know, your mind, you can't think anymore.
Can't think. Now, two girls.
Two girls.
In
and
the
they
business?
Got yes, they're both in the business, and one is in public relation and one is in stock control.
Yeah.
And they seem to like it now. You know, I was very concerned, but I had to let them out of the business first before I brought them in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
and then
Dominic went to work for Ferrero Chocolates.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's they had a great budget for advertising, so she learned about the promotional side of the business.
Yeah.
And so she enjoys that now. She loves it. You know, she knows that's why she talks to you all the time. And you know, she's a great friend.
And you've got grandchildren now?
We got grandchildren. We got 4 grandchildren.
Yeah.
One boy who is 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to him. I said, look, don't get involved with my business. I think the best business in the world today is to be a politician. Because we're lacking leadership.
We're lacking leadership.
We're lacking leadership.
Do you think he would have a great passion for that business, the poor young lad?
Well, you know, I mean, Australia is a beautiful country.
Yep.
And you know, this country could be the best country in the world, which we think there is a best country, but it could be even better than what we are.
Yeah.
We should be the Swiss of the Pacific.
Yep, absolutely.
Because we got young people here. They got a lot of people who's got a lot of dynamic to be the best.
Yeah.
And we can control this country because we haven't got a big population.
Yep, and we
know where to go. We know
borders.
how to do. You know, this is the most beautiful thing, and so we. You know, it's like the Roman Empire. You know, the Roman Empire was built by different nationalities.
Yep, together.
Working together. But for you to be a Roman, you have to be proven that you want to be a Roman.
Yeah.
And
it's a good theme. You know, in business, in terms of bringing great people in, you need to have people that really want to be part of what you're doing.
Yeah. That's why I'm fortunate today, because after so many years, I'm lucky to build certain staff that they're proud to be involved with my business.
So let's talk about that. I know that you've got the largest workshop in Australia.
Yes.
And most of those people have been there for more than 20 years. More than 30 years.
That's right, more than 30 years.
So I've been down. I consider it a great privilege to have been down through the workshop a number of times. It's absolutely incredible. You wouldn't even know that existed here in Australia.
Yeah, more than 35 years. And we've got young students coming through.
Yeah.
And they are the savior of my business.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the future.
They are the savior of my business because they bring different energy.
Yeah. Now, how do you work? I think it's interesting. How do you work with younger people?
Yes, that's very hard.
And not get stuck, as you've mentioned, your old master in terms of just doing the same thing.
Yes.
I've noticed you're a very dynamic guy. You're willing to change and do new things. Is that the
Brett,
key?
I did used to have a lot of trouble because I used to interview them one by one, and they used to waste a lot of my time.
Yeah.
So what we do now, we get involved with TAFE, and we ask them, send me half a dozen of your best students.
Yeah.
And then through those half a dozens, you know who's passionate, who is there to waste their time, and then you work with them.
Yeah, very, very interesting in terms of, again, building a partnership with people that can help.
Yeah, well, it's, you need help.
Yeah.
Help is, you must not be sorry to say, I need your help.
Yeah.
To be good.
Yeah. It's very interesting. So for the people out there that love jewelry, the pieces that you're very well known for are these competition pieces, if you like.
Yes.
The $1 million bra,
the necklace,
the
$1 million necklace.
Yeah, the $1 million necklace.
The beautiful cascade of semi-pressure. Look, Brett, I do these things to make them. I did, for instance, the trophy for the Everest.
For the Everest, and I wanted to talk to you about that. The trophy for the Everest. Talk to me about that. The Everest is the largest racing, or the richest race in horse racing
in the world.
Nick's made the trophies.
And it's
what's in the trophy?
8,000 diamonds. 8,000 diamonds.
And what colour are the diamonds?
The diamonds are black diamonds and white diamonds.
So black and white diamonds
together.
Is there some green in it?
There was rubies in the eye.
Rubies in the eye. Okay, these are extraordinary pieces. We'll get some photos. Send the guys down to see them.
And there was the one you are talking, I think, you think about the green is the championship. With the emeralds.
Yeah, you did that one as well.
With the emeralds, yeah.
So there is this theme of being prepared to go out and do different things, that get you attention, and highlight your skills.
Well, that's what happened when I was approached by Race of New South Wales.
Yeah.
And they said, we don't want a trophy.
Yeah.
We want a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And that is the difference.
Yeah.
People start to realize the difference.
Yes.
What is max production?
Yeah.
What is worth no value?
Yeah.
And when there's the man who's really put the passion, the contribution to make that unique piece of jewelry.
So this, I think, for all of our clients and people that are listening, there's a theme that I very strongly believe in, which is that things that have enduring value are likely to increase in value. In a world where mass production exists,
globally mass production,
then the value of anything mass produced is likely to fall. But the value of craft and things that are one-offs and that not everyone has.
Man has made it by his hand.
Yeah, by their hands and by their skill and with their passion.
With their passion. That someday he's happy, next day he's not happy, next day he's cranky with his wife, or his day is not going well. He's putting it all there while he's working.
All of that emotion is in that piece. And I think you can look across the economy and you can see companies that when they behave in that way, with that passion, determined to be world-class, that resonates with people and they buy that passion.
Yes, there is a market for that.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And I'm glad because even now, for instance, Tiffany's been bought.
Yeah, by LVMH, yeah.
So what does it mean? Artisans like us, and not only me in Australia, I follow a lot of people in Europe that they're doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Artisans who are sitting back and they say they are making that beautiful piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
And that beautiful piece of jewelry is obtained not by machines, it's obtained still by man.
Yeah, amazing. So I wanted to finish by asking Nick if there was a motto or a quote or thought that really summarizes your approach to life and business. What would that be?
I think honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty, and always look after your customer.
Yeah.
Number one motto, because they're the future of your life.
Yeah, fantastic. So I want to thank Nick for joining us today on the Be Better Off show. I think you can hear the wisdom of years at the front line in building what is an absolutely tremendous building. I'd recommend to anyone who hasn't seen 15 Catherine Street, Leichhardt, to get down there and ask them to see the workshop. And if you really want to give something to somebody that's special, then he's your man. That's the place to go. Nick, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's always enjoying
fantastic,
you.
Fantastic.
You
so
opened
good.
my heart many times.
So good.
I don't know about this.
So good. I wanted to thank Nick for coming today. This is Floyd, the lion. He's named after my dad. And I'm going to send him home with Nick for one of the grandkids.
Oh,
You'll see he's got his little Kelly+Partners blazer.
Oh, my God.
And there he is.
Oh, you're the best.
Thank you so much, Nick.
You're the best.
That's made for us by the oldest teddy bear manufacturer by hand in England. So it's very, very special.
Beautiful. Oh,
very good. Isn't he cute?
Can imagine my kids
so
now.
Oh. I love it. Very good.
Thanks for listening to the Be Better Off show. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate and review on Apple Podcasts.
Have a great day.